Welcome into the Bruce Arians Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Bruce Arians. And first of all, coach, congratulations on making the playoffs. And I know this is only your second year with this team, but have you gotten a sense of the significance of this for this organization and for some of the guys on the team?
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, you could feel it when we took the job a year ago. It's like this team needs to break that slump, and especially our players who've been here for a while, Levante, Will, Mike. So happy for them for that moment in the locker room because, I mean, it is special. And having been a part of it a number of times, when it's your first time, it's really, really cool. And we've got some young coaches. That's their first time, too.
Yeah, did you get a chance to have some of those conversations with guys like Levante right after the game? What were some of the reactions and things that you saw out of them?
Yeah, there's no really words to say the feeling and the looks on their faces. When those guys huddled up and started talking to each other, and then Mike jumped on top of the whole pile and said, "We're in," and it was really, really special.
And, one of the good things about making it as a wild card for you guys is you've been great on the road this year. You've now won the last 5 in a row. Do you have any explanations for why you guys have had such success there? Is it a factor about just who you've played, or is there something about those road games that you feel like is really helping?
I think we really learned how to play not in front of people. The stadiums that were Chicago, New York, some of those real empty, gigantic stadiums that were just lifeless. I think we've learned how to bring our own energy on the road.
And man, there are so many stats to bring up about this last game, especially offensively. 410 yards of total offense in the first half. It's the most in the first half in the NFL since 2010. Team record in total offense for the game, 34 points, the most in the first half in franchise history. You could just go on and on and on. What do you think was the significance of how you guys won that game and what that means to this team?
Well, there's so much talk about fast starts and not enough talk about great finishes. So we wanted to stop the writing about that. And, we, instead of deferring like we normally would to get the ball to start the second half, we took the football, and Tom did a great job taking us right down the field for 2 quick scores.
Yeah, those fast starts, I know that you had probably been really tired of having to talk about it with the media or talk about it even with the players. Last time you guys had scored a touchdown on the first drive was week 4. The last time you guys had done on the first 2 drives was week 3 of last year. What was there a sense of relief essentially when you guys were able to start the way you were, knowing how important that would be going into the playoffs?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. There's more relief for me not have to talk about it anymore. And, I still take those great finishes in the playoffs. So it's really not how you start. It does help, but it's how you finish. And our guys are learning how to finish. And but, yeah, it was great to see it. And, everybody, I don't think they crossed midfield maybe until late in the fourth quarter. So it was a great defensive performance and a really good offensive performance.
Yeah, and what was it like for you to be preparing for a team that just kept losing more and more coaches, changing the coaches, who would be doing the certain roles? Because, so much of your job is figuring out tendencies. And I have a feeling that every time you'd get a game plan figured out, you had to throw it out the window.
Yeah, it was one of those games like let's just go play ball in the parking lot because there were no tendencies. And I'm not a big computer guy anyway. I like our tendency. I want to check our tendencies more than what they have. And normally, the other coordinators. I didn't know these guys at all. So it was different in that way for sure.
And then similarly, how about the switch to 3 different quarterbacks over the course of the game? What is that like to be preparing for multiple guys in the middle of the game and having those things shift?
Well, I hate to see Matthew Stafford get hurt because I really think he's a great player, and I hate seeing great players get hurt. But it really helped us, obviously, when he sprained his ankle and left the ball game because he is such a unique and great player.
And now Tom Brady has a single season Bucs touchdown passing record. What does it say about him that he has gotten that in this first season? And after we'd heard so much about losing all that time to gel with wide receivers, learning the new playbook, that his first year after such a weird offseason to be able to break a record like that?
Yeah, it speaks volumes of his preparation and his determination, what he's meant to us as a football team. I've been there, done that guy, and you see the team rallies behind him, and it's very, very obvious. But I'm really, really happy for him to break that and hopefully add some more to it next week.
Yeah, and Mike Evans, I mean, there were just a million records. I feel like that was what this game was all about. Mike Evans broke his own single season touchdown record. And now, of course, he's within 40 yards of being the first player to have 1,000 yards in his first 7 seasons. I mean, both of these, the fact that he's broken his own record multiple times, point to such consistency in his play. Why do you think that he's able to continue to break his own record and continue to have this upward trajectory after, in his 7th season?
Yeah, it's just because he's a workaholic and he's a very selfless guy. I mean, I couldn't be happier, and it means a lot for me personally too to make sure he gets this record because he's the most unselfish star receiver I've ever been around.
That is incredible. And what is that like as a coach when you know there are records and you want to help the guys get it? But I'm sure there's also some competing factors of not wanting him, to get hurt and wanting to make sure you keep guys safe. How do you balance all of those different desires that you have?
Well, it's fortunate for us this week because this game matters. And had it not mattered, we would have had some tough decisions. But it matters as far as our playoff seeding. So I just hope he gets it in early in the game and we can just go win the ball game.
And how about his 2 touchdowns in the game? Take us through those and what worked so well on those plays.
Yeah, we actually had both guys open, and we had go routes. He was the inside receiver, which is a new spot for him a lot this year. And Tom just put a perfect ball on him. He ran by him, and I think Antonio ran by the guy on the outside, which held the corner off. The other one was just a great flag route, and just was a fantastic route. Good throw and catch.
And no Rojo for a second game in a row. Tell us a little bit about how that has impacted these game plans and then how Fournette has picked up the slack for him and what you thought of his performance.
Yeah, Leonard's been really solid, both ball games, Atlanta and Detroit, and he's a quality player. I mean, he's an all-pro player, so we're very blessed to have him. We miss Rojo because he was having a great season, and hopefully we can get him back this week and see how that finger is, and know what to do going forward, and get him some game action and get him back into the flow of the game.
Yeah, and Chris Godwin, another guy that has dealt with a similar injury to what Rojo has dealt with. The pins finally removed from the finger, and it seems like it didn't matter. Broken finger, pins in, pins out. This guy can make grabs no matter what. That one-handed touchdown catch. I wanted to hear what you thought of that play in particular.
Yeah, I thought it was an overthrown ball, and it's just like only Chris could make that catch and secure it one-handed like that. But he made it almost catch later in the game. I almost challenged it because he didn't know if he caught it or not either. And guys upstairs said no, it hit the ground, but it was an unbelievable reach back behind him catch. That we see Chris do this all the time. Even when he had his finger wrapped in a ball at practice, he would turn his hands and catch it this way. It was like I've never seen anybody catch balls that way, but he's amazing.
That's incredible. All right, well, we still have plenty more coming up here with head coach Bruce Arians. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Bruce Arians Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Bruce Arians, continuing to break down that win over the Lions, getting into the playoffs. Antonio Brown added another touchdown a couple weeks in a row here after getting his first one. That was, of course, after the Godwin touchdown was negated by the ineligible player downfield. So take us through that sequence right there, and then what was able to get AB that second touchdown.
Yeah, we had an audible on the one that was negated, and Donovan thought we were running the ball and didn't hear that we did not audible. So that was only one of the few miscommunications we had in the whole game. And then again, AB ran a great seam route inside, and Tom was right on the money, knowing how quick he runs his routes. And you could see the timing start to develop again with Antonio now.
And getting Donovan back in the lineup after missing him for a game, how important was that? And just tell us a little bit about how you felt like he played in his return.
I thought he was really good. He didn't play up to his normal level because of just a little rust, but he was really solid in the ball game, and it's great to have him back in there.
And how about the offensive line overall? How did you feel like they did in terms of both the pass and the run game?
I thought we were outstanding. Tom was very, very clean in this ball game. We ran the ball well enough, especially in the no-huddle drive. I was really happy to see that drive. The communication was great. It was really a flawless drive, and most of it was running by Leonard and great blocking up front.
Yeah, and how about Gronk getting a couple touchdowns there from 2 different quarterbacks? I feel like it's a great sign of a good game. Take us through those 2 different touchdowns and what worked well for him.
Yeah, again, the first one was really an option route to Cam, and Gronk was clearing out, got man coverage, and Tom, there doesn't have to be any chemistry between those two. They've been doing it together a long time. Put it where only Gronk could get it, and he just, with those big hands, went up and got it and drug him into the end zone. The other one was a great play by Blaine. I don't know if they busted the coverage, but we were really, again, looking for Mike on an outside route, and wide open down the middle, and Blaine just hit him on. And that was a great job by Levante David, stripping that ball, giving us the ball first right out, coming out of the second half, and then scoring in one play. That pretty much iced it.
Yeah, that really was such a key moment. It feels like a lot of these games, regardless of whether it's been a slow start or a fast start, there tend to be some key moments like that really solidify things. Is that the one that you would say was for this game?
Yeah, there was no comeback after that. I mean, I think that one, you go in at halftime, you regroup. If you're down, hey, let's go do this, let's do that. And then all of a sudden you come out and they strip you of the ball and the other team scores. It's usually over by then.
All right. Well, we still have more coming up here on the Bruce Arians Show, talking about this win over the Lions, looking ahead to the final regular season game and the playoff seeding chart. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Bruce Arians Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Bruce Arians. And I know that you have a lot of history with Blaine Gabbert, and you were really adamant about wanting him to be here and be the backup. And you felt like he would play a really big role in terms of off the field of helping your starter. But to get a chance to get him some reps, I imagine was something that you really enjoyed getting to do. Yeah,
he hadn't played in like a year and a half. I was really disappointed last year when he tore up his shoulder in the preseason because he is such a valuable guy for us. Having been in this offense and won games for us, we know how good he is. And he's been a great sounding board for Tom. He was a great sounding board for Jameis last year. And, it's having another coach in the room. And, backup quarterback is such a unique position when you help the starter with the game plan. And we're very fortunate to have Ryan Griffin and Blaine in that room helping Tom.
And how about just the importance overall of getting not only him, but other backups reps when there is a game like this, especially late in the season, for the rest of your starters, but also to know that you have guys that if guys were to go down, they might be a little bit more prepared. Is that something you think is important?
Oh, there's no doubt. Sean Murphy-Bunting's been playing hurt for a number of weeks, and to get him out of there and see Herbie Miller go in and get that big interception was great for Herb and his confidence. Getting a bunch of guys rested, got Winfield out of there with his shoulder, and a couple other guys that we just needed to get. You can't rest them all because you can only dress 46, or 48. But so we got as many out. Obviously got Tom out early, and then Leonard, some other guys that got rest that needed it.
And so, tell us a little bit about, I know a couple of those backups that played big roles. Ledbetter and Nelson got both of them their first career sacks. Take us through those plays and what those guys have been able to offer this year.
Yeah, both of them help our pass rush, whether they both got unique skills. And I've got my fingers crossed that Jeremiah didn't strain his calf too bad that he might be out. But, he's a good interior pass rusher. And Nelly's been a great one for us all year as far as any time that Shaq or JPP get tired, we still have a great long guy that can go in there and make plays for us and batting balls down and getting to the quarterback.
And a couple rookies were able to get some more playing time in that game, especially Keyshawn Vaughn, which after we've talked about how much time they missed in the offseason, I imagine getting them some more reps here down the stretch was really helpful for their development. What did you see from Keyshawn's play and the optimism that could bring you about him moving forward?
Yeah, he's such a different back for us. He's so quick and sudden, and it's really good to see him get a chance to start running the football because we've got really, really high hopes for him in the future and all the way down the road.
Yeah, we also saw a big block by him on some blitz pickup on one of the catches that Mike made. And what have you felt like? I mean, that typically for rookie running backs can be one of the areas that can hold them back the most. So how have you felt about him in terms of pass protection?
He's been good all year. He's really, and you're right, running backs coming out of college is very seldom pass block. And he's a very tough competitor and more than willing blocker.
And how about Tyler Johnson? We saw a 35-yard third down screen catch for him. Tell us about the success of that play and his potential as well.
Yeah, we think the world of Tyler. He's come all on gangbusters too. I mean, both those guys were set back in camp with injuries and COVID, and they're going to be excellent players for us for a long, long time. And Tyler, he's a sudden guy. He's long and lean, and he showed some speed and quickness on that screen pass.
And how about the big plays, deep ball, all those big chunk plays in the game? I mean, the last game, you guys didn't have a play over 14 yards in the first half. And this time, the first few drives, you had plays of 33, 32, 47, 27-yard plays. What was really working well in that area?
Great protection. We give Tom time. I mean, he's, I was joking with him on the sideline. Damn, it's a shame you're too old to throw the ball deep anymore. And we had a good laugh over that one. But if you give him time, his accuracy is unbelievable.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because even when he misses a ball deep, it seems that he misses long. So that arm strength thing that people love to debate about maybe before the season started or wonder when that's going to go, it seems safe to say that both you and him have recognized that that is not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, he's very, very smart quarterback. This could be our ball or nobody's ball, especially on those deep balls.
And Devin White led the team in tackles again with 10, and the sack he got puts him up to 9 on the season, which is second only to JPP on the team by a half sack. How impressed have you been by his ability to get to the quarterback this year so consistently that he's already within reach of getting double digits as an inside linebacker?
Yeah, that's a very unique feat, and teams they keep trying to max protect and keep those backs in, and we're playing man to man. That's his guy. That's just turning him loose to get to the quarterback.
And then JPP almost got another interception. I think I've heard from his position coaches that he's potentially lobbying for some snaps at corner, some snaps at, every other position. He's ready to get in there. What have you seen from him, especially in that area in the pass game and learning that new role of dropping back?
Does a great job of learning how to drop back, keeping his eyes on the quarterback. He was looking in the end zone on that one. He thought he had a pick six, and he couldn't wait to score, and he dropped it. I mean, it was a good laugh on the sideline, but he's doing a heck of a job in pass defense.
And Will Golston also added another sack. He's a guy that I feel like sometimes you brought up that he's been on this team for so long. He's one of the guys that really values this playoff run, but sometimes his contributions on the D-line can maybe go a little bit less noticed than some of the others. What has he meant to this group, and especially since Vita's absence?
It's been big. It's just big for 2 years. I mean, he's found a defense he really, really fits in. And it's always fun to see a guy who some coaches, he can't play this, he can't play that, and you put him in the right spot and they can really play. And I wish we played in Detroit every week, because every time we go home, his hometown, he lights it up.
That's awesome. All right, we still have one more segment coming up here on the Bruce Arians Show, so don't go anywhere. Welcome into the Bruce Arians Show. Again, it is our final segment here, talking a little bit about that Lions game, looking ahead to this final Falcons game. Before we move on fully to the Falcons game, I just want to hear a little bit about the special teams unit. I know that in a game where it was such a complete victory, it seemed like everything went pretty well except that one area. Succop missed a few kicks and the touchdown given up on the punt coverage. So what did you see from that unit overall?
Yeah, those were the plays that were, Ryan was struggling with that turf, and it got in his head. And if you're a kicker and something's in your head, it's hard to get it out. And he was sticking his foot in the ground in that turf in pregame, and it carried into the game. And for a veteran, got to get over that fast. And the punt return, we just missed 2 tackles. And great punt. We put them right on the sideline. And both our gunners got down there, and nobody made a tackle. And it was the poorest play of the game. I really wanted that shutout for our defense because they played really good football to have a shutout. But yeah, the special teams, they got some work to do this week.
You're playing the Atlanta Falcons for the second time in 3 weeks. When you're playing a team so close together like that, how does that affect your preparation? And does it make you want to mix things up more since they just saw you, or stick with what works because it already worked?
Well, you got to mix it up defensively, because when you got a veteran quarterback like Matt Ryan, he can't see the same things all the time, and or he'll pick you apart. We struggled with Calvin Ridley in that ball game, engaged, so we got to do a better job in our coverage, in our rush units, getting to him. They max protected us, and we have to have an answer for that in this ball game. They played Kansas City right to the end, and who would have ever missed the guy that hasn't missed a field goal all year misses a field goal. So the Falcons are playing really, really hard for Raheem Morris, and I hope somebody gives him a shot at being a head coach, because he obviously knows how to get a team ready to play. And offensively, the same thing. We've got to change it up.
Yeah, and what did you, for you, the goals that you want to see for this last game before the playoffs, the things that you want to feel really good about going into the playoffs and what this team has accomplished, what can this game do for some of those things?
just win. Yeah, win and get 11 wins. 11 wins hard to do. It secures the 5th seed, which is the one we want to be. And so yeah, it's a huge game for us. Just because we're in the playoffs doesn't matter. We want to make sure we secure that 5th seed and get 11 wins. 11 wins is very special in this league.
That is absolutely the truth. All right, well, Coach, thanks so much for being on here with us. And again, congratulations on making it to the playoffs and good luck against the Falcons.
Thank you. Happy holidays, all the Bucs fans.